Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the jury, today I present to you the fastest Age of Mythology arrow keys moving at the speed of the light action as in the right hand corner of the map. Spawning in as our hero of the day. It's Kiluminati, and he is playing Thor. Hate to pull you away from the AOM action, but I've moved the merch store so you guys can head over there and support me if you want to. It's the best way to do so. There's t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, prostagma. There's the Greek gods. What's going on, everyone? You can see the items literally on YouTube right here, or you can click the link in the description to go see the store and check it out for yourself if you want to. Huge thanks to everyone for their support, and right back to the Age of Mythology action. Why is he our hero of the day? Well, he is going up against the Kronos Menace. Everyone's favorite god to hate on at the moment. Kronos Rush is out. Kronos Rush is with us and ready to start being a big pain in the bum. But Zucolo, he's an ethical Kronos player. He's going to build a mana. And in building a mana, this does mean he's not going to be going for a 3-minute advance time. Instead, going to be aiming for that 3 minute and 30 seconds. But either way, it's still a big pain in the derriere for the Thor. So we'll see how Kiluminati's going to go here. He is actually deciding to herd in some animals here. His build order is all over the place. He's not going for a Dwarven Armory. I generally believe that Thor does not need the early game economic advantage to beat Atlantean. It's mostly just about get to the classical age and safe, and then you can put your armory down. So this could also apply to playing against Uranus or playing against Gaia, but both of those gods can't really put on the early pressure in as big of a fashion, as a devastating of a fashion of Kronos. So oftentimes you see people just going the Dwarven Armory route, but you don't need to. You can put that armory up later. Just make sure you're nice and defended. You can go and try and snipe some oracles with early Hursa, then put your armory down, then get your armory upgrades in, then start building your units. It's kind of totally fine. But I like this from Kiluminati. He's chopping his temple over here. It is spotted by Zucolo. Zucolo can go for a deconstruction right away. One idea for the Thor player here, for Kiluminati, is to just put out a Hursa immediately before you advance. And that way, even if the 3 minute comes in, we're going to have a Hursa ready to defend. And we are seeing it's a 3:30, but yeah, you could build the Hursa right away. Kiluminati looks like he's going to be going for the classical age first. This is slightly risky. I say slightly risky, but it is slightly risky. Just on the fact that you can get deconstructed and the temple is not going to be able to get built back up by the Berserk. You only got one of them out. But Zucolo, he hasn't dropped his deconstruction yet. Now, one thing here, one really naughty way to play Kronos is if you got early vision on the temple, you can have full vision on this temple up until you see a Hursa coming out. And if just before you hit the classical age, you haven't seen the Hursa, then you can drop the deconstruction. Oh my God. My guy, Kiluminati, gets his Hursa out just barely. He literally was like 0.1 of a second there. Temple coming up. Thor said he's going to be in. Healing Spring can get dropped down. Kiluminati should be able to defend here, but he's going to be at very, very best sort of in an equal position. So we'll see how he's going to go as his temple is 10 seconds away from completion. Some walls coming up to try and protect the gold mine for the time being as well. I love this wall positioning because Caraballis are going to be somewhat of an issue, but the temple will finish up. The troll comes out. Hursa going to chase this one away, and now Kiluminati needs to start working towards his Great Hall. I actually would have rathered him build a Great Hall immediately over the temple. One, it's cheaper, and two, he gets access to raiding cavalry. Now he's going for his Dwarven Armory here, which is incredibly wild. There is no rush for this armory to come up. The rush is to get out units that deal with a Caraballister. But he's now under attack. He can still drop that healing spring down. I like that that positioning on this one. And a little charge forward to try and pick off some of these units. The trolls are great counter to the Caraballister before it gets heroized as well as an option. Of course, it's going to get heroized once it gets to low HP, but still, I mean, in this position, it might not. Good control here from Kiluminati. You want to keep your units alive if possible. Cannot quite manage to do so. And now he has to pull back. And this is now Kiluminati in a really, really big issue. You could imagine, had Kiluminati dropped instead of the Dwarven Armory, a great haul, he would have had a couple of raiding cavalry out, and this would have been completely dealt with. Or alternatively, some catapulties would have come out, and his Herser would have been able to get max value out of those fights, because Herser are going to be able to beat the catapulties. But nonetheless, great haul coming up. Kiluminati still has got one more sort of ace up his sleeve, so to speak. He can drop a Dwarven Gold Mine over here, or on this side of the town center, and he's going to be able to get himself at least another 1,000 gold to get himself all sorted out. As the walls get broken down, the villagers will pull back into this position. He's got one or two Chinese pine trees to play with here. But Kiluminati is in a bit of a tough position, and I love this from Zucolo. Behind this, because of the way that Kiluminati's open with the Dwarven Armory, and the fact that the Dwarven Mine has come down, Zucolo says, let me grab a Talon Center here, and we can start really taking an economic advantage, or at least not falling behind from the early armory upgrades in this game. So this does make some sense, but Kiluminati isn't going to be falling behind because he's going to be getting those armory upgrades. He has to break through these units, and then he has to go get his own town center. Quick smart. Now, if you see the only real way you can really know what's coming for you here is by reading what your opponent is showing you. Unless you want to send the Herser out, which might be a completely valid approach. Send one Herser out to just scout around here and all that other good stuff. But you can see that there's not many things here from Zucolo, so you can kind of know that there's two options. Either it's going to be a heroic age, or it's going to be a second town center at the moment. So you can very easily deal with a lot of stuff. And I love this from Kiluminati. He ignores the Prometheans. He's going to be able to potentially take this temple down. In fact, he does take the temple down. That's 300 resources down the drain there for Zucolo, and the counter barracks is going to go down, and the game continues along. Kiluminati has to be quick now. So getting a second town center, valid. Going for a all-in here, also very valid. You go for an all-in onto the gold mines. On the side of Zucolo, he should be on this second gold mine really, really early with an easy escape path. So like a mana here, and he can garrison away and then back into his town center. But he should be on this gold mine as early as he possibly can, because that plays around that sort of gold starve type thing. He's also grabbed himself watchtowers super early on, so he's not going to be under too much pressure from any sort of raids. But if we take a quick look at what Kiluminati sees, his map is literally pitch black. He's seen nothing. There's nothing here. What does he know? He has to make a whole bunch of assumptions. Now, he is still getting upgrades. He's still making units. And I think this is completely correct if he wants to go for the all-in. And he's also got the idea. You've also got ideas here of simply dropping the town center a little bit later. You can see the villager differential is kind of close. He's not fallen behind here in terms of income. So you can just go for the town center at this point as well. But the all-in, to some degree, or some sort of a gold cut is open for Kiluminati to go for. The only issue is, if Zucolo goes heroic age, he's going to have access to Satyrs, so you need to make sure you're making enough Herser. Caraballister are really hard to push through, so you've also got to be making rain catapulties are really hard to push through. So you have to get some scouting information in to really make a really good decision. If you happen to see, say, 5 Caraballister out, we drop a town center, because Caraballister have no pushing power. So there's a billion different options here for Kiluminati at the moment, as he now pops over onto this side. He does see the town center. He's confirmed exactly what's coming for him here, as the raiding cavalry will see those citizens popping into the town center, and he goes, okay, can't really do anything there. He sees catapulties though, so this does give him the angle to say, okay, a heroic age is coming, or a big classical age defense is coming. So Hersa, Berserker, fine, raiding cap, just any units basically is going to be fine, because you don't see any Caravals. This all in here for Kiluminati is on the cards. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean he has to win the game, but he does need to get some decent damage done with this. So he has got to kill some citizens at the moment. But yes, Hyperion is on the way. There's 5 oracles out. Trying to scout for the oracles and picking those off is obviously going to be a nice little option. One over here, one over here. We already talked about how pitch black the map is for Kiluminati, but you can always just send Hersa around the map scouting out. You can see Kiluminati's got this sort of attack move plan here. So if he spots this, I think he actually does kill off that oracle in the corner. Does he see it? Does it work? I haven't seen this before. Does it actually work? Yes, it does work. There you go. So if you hold Alt and shift click around with right click, you're going to be able to find these oracles without even having to pay attention. You can kind of just do it. As Valor gets thrown down onto the oracle in the corner, that's not going to be enough to keep that oracle alive. So it's a double win here for Kiluminati, as he's charging over onto this side now. He's going to go after that town center. Lots and lots of units here. The village is going to be getting that repairing in, as Kiluminati does need to pull his berserks and start shanking at the very least, as the citizens are going to pull from one side to the other side. I don't know if there's quite enough stuff here to break through this, especially with a chaos. This is not the idea that I was exactly thinking about going for with this all in, but now chaos is down and the satyrs don't get that shot off. Kiluminati going for Hall of Thanes here, which is really, really smart. Just needs to be pumping out Hersa so he can actually deal with the satyr that are going to be coming out. He's got himself a grand total of 4, but with Hall of Thanes and say 5 more Hersa, he should be fine against that, as long as no chaos is on the cards. Ooh, and he just misses that oracle in the corner as well. He was scouting it out, as now Kiluminati looking to charge in here and take this position out. The military differential is absolutely gigantic at the moment, but villager differential very, very large, and we'll see if Kiluminati can make use of this army or not. He's charging for great defense from Zukalo. The big thing is gold. So one other idea here for Kiluminati in this sort of a position, if you're ever looking to do these types of all-ins, is to get some buildings down onto these positions here. Of course, Kiluminati wants a heroic age. He's going through Skadi. Skadi is a really, really powerful tool here in this matchup, but so too is flaming weapons. So you don't really want to go flaming weapons if they've got themselves chaos available to them, because you never know when it's going to be up, and it obviously hurts you more than hurts them if they're going to have that, as Kiluminati charges a huge amount of damage to come through there, as the raiding cavalry circling in from the top. This heroic age has kind of made this difficult to get the gold staff. I think if Kiluminati had gone full units here, he probably breaks through this, and he probably makes Zukalo... I think Zukalo loses a lot here if this was 1,300 more units, or like raiding cavalry upgrades, a couple more Hersa and stuff like that. I think he breaks through this here, but at the moment now we're equal on military. Armory differential, it's kind of close. Kiluminati does have a little bit more than Zukalo at the moment, but we are going to be having a palace coming down for Zukalo, as Kiluminati has got a frost. Like, you can drop the frost onto this and idle the villagers and get ready to break this sort of position in. Forward healing spring as we're heading to the heroic age is a big no-no though from Kiluminati. That there is 5-ish frost giants, and they are an amazing unit to be adding into this army against a player who's massing Satyr. Why? They have decent pierce armor, they've got high HP, and there's not going to be any heroes really going to be able to get converted if you're spamming out myth units. If you're spamming out Sati, you're not going to have that favor. So a little interesting nuance with the Atlantean is if they're spamming out myth units, they probably can't make heroes, so myth units are definitely an option for you. But now, Kiluminati has not managed to get this kill off. The palace is here. He can frost. He can take the palace down during the frost. That's going to work. But can he also kill off the citizens? Maybe kill off the town center? He's got to kill off a handful of villages to equalize. Or he just has to get max value out of his army, which is another pretty big possibility here. Lots and lots of berserks, though, for Kiluminati in this one, as the Satyr are going to be an amazing option as the heavy comes through and Kiluminati says, it's time to go. He charges in, cavalry onto the back line to take out those Karabalista there as well. Only one throwing axeman at the moment as the army comes over onto these gold villages saying, let's take those out. Onto the backline, those Karabalas are still alive. The Satyr in the middle here are also getting some pretty nice damage in. As Kiluminati, I'm not sure he's actually winning this fight. If he is winning the fight, it's very, very close. It's the army of Zuklo does somewhat dissipate, but he's not going to have the army to break through the palace after all is said and done. And the income from Zuklo will be popping off here to rebuild this army back out. But nonetheless, a good win for Kiluminati to try and make something happen up onto this top side. Hero citizens going after the middle gold mine, but Berserks are just going to keep streaming in here. Any citizen kills here are going to be really, really good. You can actually, the village differential is kind of close, 68 to 54. And I mean, you almost have to ignore the score to some degree. You have to also remember that favor is coming in for Kiluminati to use on myth units as well. So that's going to be a huge boost for him. But let's see if Zuklo can remuster up an army and stop this palace from going down. Because for the moment here, Zuklo has 0 gold. He's got 0 gold. I mean, he's got 4 villages in this palace and he's going to come over and defend. But he's got 0 gold for the moment. And I don't think Kiluminati's got the stuff here to defend this. Heavy Arcus, heavy Karabalista, too much for the moment. What Kiluminati kind of needs is either Jarl or Huskal. These, I must say, I'm not a raiding cavalry believer. Once you get to the heroic age, raiding cavalry aren't a unit to build. Just go Jarl, just go Huskal if you need to deal with archers, or Jarls if you want to be dealing with counter infantry as well. And we'll see if Kiluminati can continue along in this game. Pumping out all the units. A couple of throwing axemen to come through to try and deal with the infantry on this spot as well. But what he really does, that's a lot of units here. You have to remember the Karabalista is worth 4 population apiece. So when you see an army of Karabalista like this, you have to remember if this is like 14 archers. So it's a lot, but the raiding cavalry do swing in onto the top, catching Zuklo out. He's on the front as well. It might be not a terrible idea to actually delete one of those longhouses so his cavalry can actually get through here, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough for Kiluminati to actually break through on that position, as the choke point was too nice. That being said, Kiluminati, it was Kiluminati's choke point. It could have deleted the buildings. Some walls coming up here for Kiluminati as well. Ball of raiding cavalry, berserks, all the other good stuff in, and heavy as well is in. Catching this army out with frost, and you can see he's bashing this down. A lot of times people go, why do players always bother like beating up on the frosted army? It doesn't do any damage. I mean, it does a tiny bit of damage, but really it's just so that the army is ready and prepared for when it unfreezes to just take it all out. Because this army here is going to go down very, very quickly to this Kiluminati cavalry force here. This Kiluminati not going to allow the retreat at all here. Oh, excuse me, never mind. Yes, he is. A couple of the units at the very least. He's trying to move forward and block off the Caraballas. The one huge weakness to the Caraballas is you cannot garrison it, unlike a Chariot Archer or a... what's another big... or a Terma, I guess. Caraballas, it can't be garrisoned unless you've got Sky Passages, in which case you can garrison them into the Sky Passages. But again, Kiluminati winning the fight here. A couple of farms going on up to the top as well. And we'll see what Zukalo can do after this. He's trying to get out a whole bunch of units, but the cavalry numbers for Kiluminati have sort of dropped, which does allow the Caraballas to yet again become a real tough unit to deal with. Now we are seeing those Frost Giants coming through. I love me a good Frost Giant. At the moment, though, there is a decent amount of favor. No, there's not. He just bought a Satyr. So these Frost Giants are going to be very, very useful. 1 or 2 heroes does not cut it. Does not cut it versus a whole bunch of Frost Giants. I say that, and 2 Caraballas are taking down 1 because it's not getting focused down. But nonetheless, more Frost Giants are going to come, and they're going to be a big, big help, I feel, for Kiluminati moving forward here. The Kiluminati still having to fight underneath the palace. This is a nice defensive stopping point for Zukalo, but Zukalo cut off gold for a long time in this game. Still got this one, and he can move over onto this position there as well, which is going to be nice too. Kiluminati charging in here. He's kind of just throwing the giants away. So like the giants are amazing, but you do have to kill off the enemy heroes if there's Caraballas. So these things are insanely good versus any unit that's close to them because they're going to hit all those arrows. If they're quite far away, they're only going to hit 1 arrow or something. So it's not as impactful. But Kiluminati's still sending everything in here. He's really not winning on this fight, but he's now going to be able to start catching up on economy. He's still only on 1 town center, funnily enough. How are his armory upgrades? He's got almost full iron. The Kiluminati army is insanely powerful here. Zukalo doesn't have bronze yet. So normally we talk about Norse's units are kind of paper thin. They're not very strong. Fours, if you play in for this armory approach, these units are incredibly powerful. Full iron on these units. He doesn't even care about the palace at the moment. The palace is actually shooting at the longhouse as well, which I think is why Kiluminati is like, I'm just going to hang here. We can just keep fighting. It's not a problem. But he's now going to say, all right, time to pull back. Time to start thinking about the next step in this game. Dropping a second town center, going for whatever he feels like next. You can take 1 unit over and drop a town center if you want for extra population and things like that, while continuing to fight and continuing to keep the population of Zukalo low here. And Zukalo just doesn't, like, he just doesn't have the army quality, nor the army quantity here to really take any fights. I don't know where these Frost Giants are going, but he does need to circle around onto this army. And he's going around onto the backside, just continuing to fight underneath 2 towers in a palace. But it's just the armory upgrades are insane. Onto the bottom side, some Berserks coming over. This is a Berserk Narok from Kiluminati here as this palace comes through. Citizens are going to be going down. And Kiluminati does have to pull back. This is not an ideal situation for Kiluminati though. Because how many gold mines does he have left? 1, 2, 2.5? He's got this one. He wants this one. If he can get all of them, it's really good for him. Dropping the Dwarven Mines at this moment is not what you want to be doing. You want to save that that Dwarven Mine for once the gold mines run out, because that's going to be like an almost guaranteed win if you can get to that moment, just because it's your opponent has to go into a trade route and you don't for 12,000, 24,000 gold if you can get all those gold mines down. It's just a monumental advantage to be able to push your opponent back. But Kiluminati's army here now has sort of met its match a little bit, and he's gonna have to pull back after fighting underneath the palace and the towers for that long. Things will eventually start going your opponent's way, but nonetheless, mark it up. Berserk's hanging out over here. Kiluminati is gonna have to regroup at some point. His army is still ridiculously strong. This red army of Zuklo, this Kronos army of Zuklo, still doesn't have his armory upgrades. He's still struggling on that. I do love that he's just continuing to build Caraballas though. These things have been monumental in the sort of success of the defense for Zuklo here. Now the Contarius raids are coming in. Now the good thing for Kiluminati here is he can just convert villages into Berserks and defend this, because he's got all the upgrades. They're really, really strong. He's got to be quick on it though. I mean, he's going to just, there he goes. He does convert 2 Berserks against the Contarius. Might not be enough, but it's going to be enough to sort of at least fend off a little bit. And now we have the town center up for Kiluminati, and the game will be continuing along. There's still a 30 villager differential here, but Zuklo's still got a lot of tech to catch up on. He could try and rush out a mythic age here as an idea, but realistically, I think getting your upgrades in and trying to get to that 3rd talent center and securing another gold mine, very, very much paramount for Zuklo, because he's going to be in a lot of trouble in probably a minute's time here. Walls coming up all over the place. Kiluminati can get the gold starve going if he can secure this top position. Of course, this bottom position as well needs securing, but he's got the talent center here, a wall here. Can put up some towers or a fortress. We have got J Atlas coming in for Zuklo, so that's going to be a nice little option to break out and get that next gold mine. But there is a bit of a timing here for Kiluminati to take advantage of. We'll see if he's going to be able to make it happen. It's up to the top. Contarius charging through here. They're going to get shanked down. And Kiluminati making his way up to the top. Does he even see this? It's just outside of line of sight. Oh, this technology is always so good when you're playing as Norse and playing as anyone who's putting military buildings around the map. It just gives that much more line of sight so you can see just that little bit more. But Palace is up now. Fortress coming up for, or Hillfort coming up for Kiluminati. Another option for Kiluminati here is actually Ragnarok, because the gold mine situation is so spread thin that you can get a nice little gold starve going. Of course, there's going to be a implode coming, so that's going to be painful. But if Kiluminati can get that implode used defensively, then it gives him a time to rebuild his army back out. There's a raiding cavalry come over here. All of the hero citizens. I need to see how many he's got. He's got 16 or like 16 hero citizens out. So his economy is looking really, really nice here. The town center for Kiluminati will be going down, and the citizens will try and sneak in onto this position to take this gold on the back. There's only 3,000 gold here though. So this is maybe part of Kiluminati's plan. If you give this position up, maybe you can even convert all the villages into Berserks and pick off a couple of citizens of Zuklo. But if you can give this position up and Zuklo has to invest into this, then we take the top gold mines and Zuklo's out of gold in 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. And the implode is in. Or the Atlas is in. Implode does get dropped. The units are going to pull away from it instantly. A 0 value almost. It's not a 0 value, but a very low value implode from Zuklo as Kiluminati gets out of the worst of it there. He's spreading his units very, very thin here as the Berserks do come in. The Berserk Knock is in just a little bit to take those citizens off of the gold. The army of Kiluminati coming down here as well. Look at that, 0 gold in the bank. Completely there for Zuklo. Market, you can still sell some food. You can still sell some wood. That's an option. That's an angle. Some Huskar really would not go astray at the moment either. But Kiluminati does throw away a lot of units on this position now. Goldmine is good to go. Zucolo needs to start a trade route. Build like 5 markets and just start that trade route up. He's got to get that going. Kiluminati gets himself a town center at the top. He's got his town center over here. It's 3 town centers to 2 town centers. Farms coming up onto the top as well. Got the Titan Shield, Devotees of Atlas. All the other good stuff. It's now Kiluminati looking to have a little fight. Armory upgrades for Zucolo. It's caught up a little bit. It's up to bronze now. On the other side for Kiluminati, though, he's got full Thor upgrades. His army is just ridiculous. Normally, you don't see Thor getting the Thor tier upgrades until like minute 40 in a game. But Kiluminati goes, I'm going for those upgrades instead of Mythic Age, which is seemingly working out for him at the moment. Now there is options of dropping a Chaos here for Zucolo, which is going to be another like nasty little advantage for him moving forward here. Now Kiluminati says it's time to go. That Chaos onto the back line, right onto the entirety of the arm. It's not really what you want to do. It's a very small amount of damage to come through there. These Argus should be going down really quickly. There's 11 Goaty. I think he might have... Oh, he's killing off this one. So it is going to be taking those down pretty quickly. And this army of Kiluminati should be able to almost walk through this army of Zucolo just because of the army quality alone. I mean, quantity-wise, Zucolo's is looking pretty big. I mean, the Caraballister, that's the majority of where his army is sitting here. The Hero Arcus as well. And those Jarls, they don't care. They're getting tickled by the Caraballister. And Kiluminati does manage to break through. And Zucolo now has to pull back. He's out of gold. He's got 0 gold. He can only trade. The market situation, he's got 1 market up. 2 markets up, excuse me. 1 market up, 1 market producing. He's now making Fanatics, which are one of the scary units to deal with, as... Now one of the scary units to deal with is Kiluminati. As I'm now noticing that the Streamer Gods has had an update. What is this? Is this cursed? This is Baldaminati. This is literally Kiluminati is now into Kiluminati is now into the scene. Here's the Streamer God. We got Baldaminati. I haven't seen this one yet. I haven't seen it yet. Okay. This is terrible. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I love it. Okay. And now Kiluminati getting him stuff is... Oh, he hasn't even researched yet. He's just pre-queued it. But Zucolo should be somewhat catching up on the army here. He's just missing himself, basically, iron weapons. He's on champion, which basically puts him equal in terms of the army quality. If you got champion versus heavy, your opponent's got 1 line upgrade of, or 1 tier of armor in front of you. It's basically equal, though maybe champion is worth a little bit more than the armory upgrades. I don't know. But it's kind of close, I guess. Is it? Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm talking old school. That's 20%. So it is the armor quality of Zucolo should be a little better than Kiluminati's here. Yeah. But these are Jarls. Jarls are really strong. And now Kiluminati's just going to be spamming out units. Zucolo on the other side. I mean, realistically, getting the trade route sorted out and getting into this angle with temporal... is it temporal chaos? Temporal something? Temporal... Yeah, getting into temporal chaos for this moment is really, really important. So the whole idea of a late game Kronos, it's all about the time shifts. getting into corners, putting buildings everywhere, using the mana network to spam out towers and time shift them into the battlefield and things like that. But now Baldaminati, that's tough to say. Baldaminati is on the way. Now seeing guard towers coming through for Zucolo, though. If Zucolo's got the resources here, he should be spamming towers. But he doesn't know that Ragnarok's coming, obviously. But that's your best bet. Spam them out and go for it. He's at 97 villages. Personally, I actually think the better angle here for Kiluminati, considering he's gone 4 SETI. He's gone Skadi, but 4 SETI and Balder doesn't give him anything, but anyways, is to go tier, and then you can actually just convert your entirety of your economy into berserks and full send if you want to go that route, because you can Fimble Winter, then you can grab yourself Berserker Gang and full Berserker Rock a little bit later, a little bit stronger than the Rag heroes in this situation, just because there's not that many heroes. There's not any real good counters to the full Berserks. Berserks are a little bit faster than those heroes of Ragnarok. But nonetheless, Ontarius charging through. Going to be returning up onto this top side. Kiluminati loses a lot of population on that one. Now he's not going to want to click Ragnarok, but he does. Ah, that hurts. That is such a painful Ragnarok to be clicking. Just on the fact that he wasn't at full pop. But he does have he's got some sort of timing on his hands, because there's no gold in the bank for Zucolo. I mean, Zucolo can trade, but Zucolo, he needs to be putting towers up all over the place, ready to defend. Are there any portable rams? There are portable rams aplenty here. 6 portable rams here, as the Kontarias are going to come over and try and take them out. But the heroes of Ragnarok, they're in to defend. And those rams say, let's go over onto this spot, kill the palace, kill this town center, kill this palace, and get to the corner. Yeah, does Kiluminati have a trade route himself? Looks like he does. He's got three Ox caravans, and he's training them out as Chaos gets dropped down. That's not going to do a whole lot there. The Llama caravan's getting picked off, getting disallowed to go to the town center. And Kiluminati looking like he's in an exceptional position here with this Ragnarok. 221 population to 123. No way to get gold for Zucolo without getting rid of all the resources in his bank. I think you can get something like 220 gold per 1,000 food. 1,000 or 240 gold per 1,000 wooden food, which is not going to be enough to really make anything worth making. Go market in the back corner and going to this town center. That's no gold basically, but it's better than what he's going to be getting with the trade route coming over here. So the citizen's going to be bailing. Kiluminati rolling in here with his portable rams to take out the palace and all the other good stuff. As these citizens falling, and Kiluminati is also going to slowly start rebuilding his own economy. All his town centers are producing. His market is producing as well. So he's got enough income to support the repopulation. And his army is still absolutely gigantic as he steals the healing spring back. And his units are going to get back up to full HP to keep pushing in. The question is, what is Zucolo doing? He's making Prometheans. I don't know if Prometheans are going to help you against these Ragnarok heroes, but anything is better than nothing, I guess. Rag heroes benefit more from the armory upgrades. I've done some tests on this stuff. I haven't checked with the meteoric, with the male upgrade, like with the extra Thor upgrades, excuse me. But at full iron, Berserks do still beat out the Rag heroes for quality against everything except for myth units, I think. With the, of course, you have to have Berserker Gang, you have to have your upgrades. Deconstruction on the market to just stop that trade route. But the trade route's going to move over here now. It's not even bad for Kiluminati. He's now going to be getting himself Sons of Slipnir to make his Jarls even stronger against the Karabalista. These Karabalista are now out, though. And this army is not the best at breaking through this. If Zucolo can micro it, I mean, kind of. 3.8 speed isn't a whole lot, but if he can micro it, he might be okay. And this army can't really chase in. You just have to make sure you're not getting out of position and don't get swarmed. And there is frost available, and then you can surround it for sure. But Kiluminati, 4 talent centers, 12k military resource population. He can kind of just sit back and let himself just get his economy going again. He's also got 12 caravans, so he's at 40 villager count. And he doesn't have any techs that he needs to grab outside of champion infantry and champion cavalry. So he should be okay here. He's just going to get himself some raiding cavalry, though, to break through these Karabalista. The speed is going to be nice here because there's no front line for them. I guess on top of that, the portable rams can just walk through and just beat some stuff down. Towers coming up, pallets coming out, up onto the top side, trying to break through this cheeky little stone gate here as Kiluminati probably doesn't need to care about the corner, but he also doesn't want to give this away. Now he's like, all right, time to make the attack happen. Look at this little defensive position. I'd love to see a counter barracks or something ready to be time shifted in front of this so that they just can't get attacked in onto. The citizens coming in. Now, was that a Dwarven gold mine? That was a Dwarven gold mine getting dropped down. So a bunch of gold income for Kiluminati to come in. He's got tons of food in the bank. Kiluminati is so patient here. I think every Norse player and their mum would be like, oh, I've got an army. Let me just attack move. But Kiluminati is just like, no, let's just wait. My opponent is struggling for resources. Sure, he's got himself more income or more citizens than I have, more income, but his gold is not there at all. His gold income is so low. So it doesn't matter. Get your economy sorted out. Hold the 4 town centers. And get in a good spot. Keep yourself in a good spot. And a little palace coming up for Zucolo, though, as he's slowly moving out of this position. Up to the top here, though, there is a destroyer, and this is a scary unit to just be sneakily taking down a town center. And now Kiluminati needs to start making a decision here. He's got to go. He's got to send it, or he's got to get up to the top and be prepared to rebuild this town center, because that's going to hurt there as the Karabalista start pulling back. And like I said earlier on, these Karabalista are incredibly strong, but they don't have that garrison ability. They can't get into the palace. They can't get to safety here quickly. And the raiding cavalry can chase them down and take them out. Zucolo trying to micro this one. The siege-engineered portable rams is in. And that's going to take these buildings down incredibly quickly as the town center will be falling too. The infantry making their way over onto this position. Too little, too late. Kiluminati's army has hardly dropped in military resource value. And Zucolo is going to be losing this town center momentarily here. Now, there's only a handful of throwing axemen in this army, so the Murmillos are going to be doing pretty nicely. There's just so many heroes of Ragnarok that I'm not sure it even matters. And Kiluminati's still just being so obscenely safe with when he's choosing to take these fights. He now goes in for it. No cavalry to take out the Karabalista, but they are quite far from the fight, so their arrows are missing. As the market's going down here, these llama caravans at 21 gold trying to keep the Kronos hopes and dreams alive. And now Kiluminati says, I don't care anymore. Let me just get the town center. Look at my economy. I got plenty. Let me get my town center up. Got all these units in queue. Let's go. 40 villages and a dream. That's all I need. I got 14 ox caravans. You only need like 50 villages in the late game. That's all you need. That's fine. No problems. Funnily enough as well, little known fact is the portable ram is actually a half decent unit to take out Karabalista with. Why? Because it does crush damage of 75 per second. It's got 85% crush armor. So you do the math. That's some DPS on a pretty low HP unit, 137 HP. Now Kiluminati can get himself back this town center as well, slowly cutting off the trade route. Should put this game out of reach for Zucolo. Zucolo does delete the market, trying to rebuild it somewhere else, but I mean, where do you go? Up onto the top side? Maybe? And the trade caravan's going to run back up to the top here, and Kiluminati not going to be allowing that there. He's just going to start bashing those down. The unit's charging in, trying to take out all that backline. And I don't see what else Zucolo can do in this position. He's not been able to take out the heroes of Ragnarok. He's not been able to slow this. And Kiluminati, after 44 minutes and 54 seconds of intense gameplay, does manage to come out with the dub here against the Kronos Menace. I really like this game. I think there's so much to take away from it. From early game problems like get yourself up that great hall rather than a temple right away, such that you can go for Herso or raiding cavalry to deal with whatever's coming out of the counter barracks. One option. Alternatively, that Dwarven Armory, I love the idea of going for it, but just the ordering, just flipping it around, going for the if you go for the temple, but then go for the Great Hall into the Dwarven Armory. And now if the Kronos player does decide to go for the town center, we don't care because our army's going to be so strong. And then I guess on top of that, in the middle of the game, you had an option to either read what your opponent's doing, which is making Satyr, and go for a whole bunch more Herso and stay in the classical age and look to lock off the gold mines, or do what Kiluminati did here and go for the heroic age Frost and keep yourself going in the game a little bit, maybe a little bit less risky, but a little bit less like volatility or chance for win, or more chance for the win on the Kronos side there. But I mean, this was such a beautifully constructed win from Kiluminati, from taking the bottom side of the gold as well, then moving up to the top side and giving just little dribs and drabs of gold back over to the Kronos, who's trying to take more map control. But if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.